How'd you think the offensive line played as a whole on Saturday night?
I haven't watched all the film, but when I was running the ball, there were holes there. The few plays I was in on protection, didn't seem too bad. I don't know. They have to watch the film and see, but I'm sure it's not nearly as bad as everyone wants to make it out to be, because that's generally how it is.
Coach went right to this being a time of year when the going gets tough gets going. Talk about the mindset of this team coming into the second half of the season.
Same it was the first half. Play games, win games, get better every week. I don't think that changes just because you lose a game. I think it's most of the people outside this building who are panicking and getting really worried. We're here every day. We know what it takes to win games. We've won games. We had a setback on Saturday. We're gonna come back and play tough against Rutgers. We're gonna practice hard all week, and we're back to the same program.
But the goals shift, right?
Watch out for the younger guys in that respect at all, just to make sure that that didn't shake them up too much.
The team protects the team, so it don't matter if we're young or old. It's we are all in this together, so it don't matter if I'm a fifth year or we got a true freshman playing. We are all invested the same in this season.
You said the approach is the same, but the goals have to shift, right?
For what?
Just, I mean, you're no longer in quite the same position as far as national title hopes, Big Ten hopes. This.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess if it was a 7-week season, or we played 7 games and that happened. I mean, it's college football. You never know what's going to happen. Literally every week. Anybody can lose any game. So, no, I don't think that any of our goals have changed or anybody's mindset has changed. Mine hasn't, and I don't think that anybody else's has. So.
Ty, on paper, offensively, maybe the numbers, I guess looking at it, not surprised that you guys at 5-2, but maybe lesser teams wouldn't, with a struggling offense, wouldn't be 5-2 through 7 games. Do you guys ever think about that?
No, I mean, I don't personally. Yeah, I don't think about where another team would be with our situation, because they're not us. We're fortunate to have a defense that plays as well as they do. Offensively, we try and do our job, as is, everybody on this team. The goal is to do your job. So, no, I don't really think about that.
Ty, with the team going through these difficulties right now, when you look down the road, for the younger guys, how do you see this kind of paying off long term, whether it's later in the season or for the future of the team?
I couldn't answer that question. I really haven't thought about it. The only thing I'm really thinking about is meetings today and practice, and how we're going to prepare for Rutgers. So, I mean, I'm sure that if I thought about it, I'd have an answer for you. I haven't at this point.
Have you been in a situation like this though, where things get tough and learn from it?
Yeah. That's every season. Every team goes through it. Whether you're undefeated or you haven't won a game, a season is never easy. So, sure, we could call it's getting tough because we lost a game, but either way it goes, 7 weeks of football and your opponents get tougher. Teams get better as the season goes on, so it's always going to get tough. So I don't think that winning or losing determines whether any point in the season is tough or not.
You take us into practice a little bit with Brandon Peters. People are clamoring for him. I mean, does he look like he's ready? How do you see him progressing?
He looks good. Just so does John. I don't know. That would probably be a question for the coaches and not for me. I don't think that any of my teammates look bad in practice, and I'm sure that all that outside noise is just that, considering none of them are in this building. So that would be a question for coach.
Do you guys hear the outside noise, or are people telling you about the outside noise?
You get told it. I really don't pay attention to it, just because if you're not in here, that opinion doesn't really matter, good or bad. So.
Ty, go ahead, Andrew. How do you anticipate meetings going? I guess what is your tone? I mean, I guess what are you going to say when you get into meetings? Do you have anything on your mind that you want to say?
I'm going to say probably nothing. I'm going to listen to the coach's corrections and take the coaching and take it on the practice field. So me personally, I won't have anything to say. So.
I meant something like to teammates.
Oh. I mean, what is there to say? We lost the game. We got to come back and win. If you got to remind somebody that, then that's a way bigger problem.
Time for maybe a couple more for Ty.
Was that the most confident you've seen O'Korn in the huddle and even, just managing that game?
I mean, I've said it in weeks before. It doesn't, it doesn't matter with any of our quarterbacks. Wilton was that way. John is that way. Brandon's that way. It doesn't really matter what happens. They don't come into the huddle with their tail tucked between their legs. They stay confident the whole time. So, was it the most confident? To me, it was the same as always, which is he has a lot of confidence, and that's what we want out of our quarterbacks, and all of them do it. So it makes it easier on us because when you have your leader, putting that out for us to see, it makes it a lot easier to play for him.
How do you perceive Wilton keeping his spirits up? Have you ever seen anything?
Yeah, I talk to Will all the time. Just dealing with an injury like anybody else would. You got to rehab and work to get back. And I know how bad he wants to be playing right now, so I don't think that his spirits are diminished at all. He's got a task at hand right now. Even though it's not playing for us, it's getting healthy so he can get back on the field.
Thank you.